A case of fame, fall, and fractured narratives, the Menglong affair. On September 11th, 2025, Chinese actor and singer Menglong died after falling from a residential building in Beijing's Chaoyang district. His agency released a statement confirming the death and noting that authorities had ruled out criminal involvement, concluding the incident was an accidental fall after alcohol consumption. Yet what might have been a tragic but straightforward death quickly became a lightning rod for online speculation, conspiracy theories, and a vivid demonstration of how social media ecology and state controls interact. Social media's role in spreading speculation. Almost immediately after the announcement, social media platforms were flooded with conjecture. Did Menglong fall? Was he pushed? Had he been tortured? One spokesman for the Beijing police branch wrote that they had ruled out criminal suspicion after on-site inspection, forensic tests, video review, and witness interviews. Within hours, however, netizens began posting alleged images, videos, and voice recordings claiming that you had been assaulted, hung upside down from a window, his abdomen cut open, tortured, then made to look like a drunken fall. One Reddit user wrote, "This makes me incredibly disheartened. The internet has been flooded with short videos claiming that Chinese actor Menglong was tortured and killed. Yet any posts about him on Weibo or Xiaohongshu almost disappear." Another added, "The darker the digging goes, word has it there's a red USB containing the entertainment industry's secrets. Was this really just an accident or a sacrificial execution in a power game?" The scale and speed of speculation illustrates the power of social media to generate narratives, alternative or conspiratorial, especially when there is ambiguity or perceived suppression. When an event involves a public figure, unknowns, and institutional opacity, the vacuum of information often gets filled by rumor. In this case, the official narrative of a fall after drinking failed to halt speculation. Many observers flagged the abrupt closure of the investigation, lack of publicly released forensic details, and rapid assertions of non-foul play. Platforms themselves played a role in amplifying discourse. Posts, comments, videos appeared across microblogs, forums, overseas social media. Netizens adopted oblique language, codes, emojis, and homophones to evade censorship and keep the story alive. Meanwhile, the story spilled into street activism. Large public LED screens in shopping malls displayed Yu's image with slogans such as, "I am Menglong." Protests formed, stock prices of his management company plunged, and executives quit. Thus, the Menglong case shows how social media acts as both amplifier and accelerator of speculation. The combination of a shocking death, a celebrity name, institutional silence or minimal transparency, and the cultural context, entertainment industry, elite power created a perfect storm. How authorities and platforms responded. Faced with the surge of speculation, authorities moved quickly. The Chaoyang branch of the Beijing Municipal Public Security Bureau publicly announced on September 21st that 3 individuals had been placed under compulsory measures for fabricating and spreading false information about Yu's death. The statements detailed how one woman claimed Yu was forced into sexual relations, another claimed he was hung from a high-rise and disemboweled, a third alleged the mother was under control of powerful forces. All admitted to fabricating rumors. On the platform side, social media companies faced government pressure. One Reuters article noted that China's internet regulator launched a 2-month nationwide campaign to crack down on fabricated information, rumors about the economy, distorted incident narratives, and sensational conspiracy theories. Specifically in the UK, it was reported that more than 100,000 pieces of prohibited content were removed, over 1,000 accounts suspended or closed, and comment functions disabled for more than 15,000 accounts. From the content moderation standpoint, the platforms and regulators, in China's case, exercised top-down controls, deleting posts, disabling comments, enforcing keyword blocks. Simultaneously, the police emphasized the legal consequences of rumor-making and called on the public to not believe or spread rumors, respect the privacy and wishes of Yu's family, under penalty of law. Hence, the case reveals two important dynamics. 1. Social media generates and circulates speculation rapidly in the absence of full clarity. 2. Authorities and platforms respond with a combination of enforcement, deletion, and official narrative reinforcement. The interplay between public speculation and official content control becomes central. First, the case shows how social media can amplify suspicion. When official narratives are brief, opaque, or rapidly finalized, netizens fill the gap. The more deleting of content, the stronger the sense of concealment, and thus the stronger the rumor engine. In the case, the speed at which platforms removed content, disabled comments, and suspended accounts may have quelled some harmful rumor spread, but also cemented belief in a cover-up among segments of the public. Second, the response reveals the dynamic of top-down control. Authorities used legal measures against rumor spreaders. Platforms carried out broad deletions, and official communication emphasized respect for the family and warned of legal consequences. This creates its own signal. When platforms are used to silence debate, it may heighten suspicion rather than settle it. Third, the case underlines the importance of intoxication as a risk factor in fatal accidents. While conspiracy thrives in the absence of full transparency, the simple public health fact remains. Alcohol impairs, increases fall risk, compromises safety. The setting, a high-rise building, windows, balconies, private party, heighten the danger. Structural safety, supervision, alert, sober presence matter. Finally, the case points to a gap in policy. Private gatherings in potentially risky environments, height, intoxication, late night, lack the systemic oversight of bars, roads, or large events. If we accept that intoxication in vulnerable environments creates risk, then prevention must extend to these contexts. Drink responsibly, ensure safe setting, carry out inspections, adopt industry codes. In conclusion, the Menglong affair is more than a celebrity tragedy. It is a case study in how social media fuels narrative, how authorities and platforms respond, how intoxication correlates with fatal accidents, and how safety systems and policy may lag behind emerging risk contexts. For individuals, the lesson is clear. Intoxication and height don't mix safely. For industry and public policymakers, the lesson is equally clear. Gatherings in high-risk settings, ordinary private residences, high-rise apartments, after-hours entertainment, require oversight, structural safety, and sober coordination. And for platforms and authorities, the lesson is to strive for transparency and communication, not just suppression, so that rumor doesn't become the only alternative. The story of Menglong's death didn't end the night he fell. It began there. What followed was an eruption across China's tightly controlled internet, a digital wildfire where truth, grief, and conspiracy collided. The tragedy morphed into something much larger than a celebrity accident. It became a reflection of how social media can both empower and endanger public understanding in an age of instant speculation. When the first reports of Yu's fall surfaced, disbelief spread faster than facts. His fans, millions strong, refused to accept the police's early statement that it was an accident caused by intoxication. To them, Yu wasn't just another name on the trending list. He was a face that had accompanied their youth, a symbol of perseverance and purity in an industry often accused of moral rot. The idea that he could have simply fallen felt too easy, too sterile, too dismissive, and so the digital storm began. Posts poured in across Weibo, Douyin, Xiaohongshu, and even Twitter's Chinese diaspora corners. Hashtags like hashtag Justice for Menglong and hashtag Truth Behind the Fall gathered millions of views before disappearing mysteriously. Some users claimed to have insider knowledge. Others posted exclusive videos allegedly showing Yu being tortured, his cries echoing in distorted audio clips. In reality, many of these proofs were AI-generated deepfakes or repurposed footage, but the emotional impact was devastatingly real. What made the situation volatile was how quickly these rumors took shape. Within 24 hours, multiple versions of the truth existed. Yu was allegedly killed by industry rivals or silenced after uncovering corruption, or victimized in a secret power struggle. Others claimed that his death was connected to a mysterious red USB drive, rumored to contain explosive evidence about China's entertainment elite. Each thread of rumor added new layers, and each deletion by moderators only confirmed the suspicion that something big was being covered up. Online, grief became activism. Candle emojis flooded Yu's old posts. Fans recorded themselves crying, vowing to find out who did this. In Beijing and Shanghai, digital grief spilled into the streets. Some fans placed flowers and posters on public billboards, projecting Yu's image on LED screens with messages like, "If you silence him, we will speak." Others gathered quietly near Tianyu Media's headquarters, demanding an independent investigation. Authorities moved quickly, launching a crackdown that was as sweeping as it was symbolic. 3 women were detained for fabricating and spreading false stories, one of them accused of inventing the torture narrative. The Ministry of Public Security labeled such acts as malicious rumor-mongering and urged citizens to stop sharing unverified content. Yet the arrests only deepened the sense of paranoia. To Yu supporters, the detained women weren't criminals. They were martyrs in a fight for truth. The pattern was painfully familiar. The more aggressively the state tried to suppress rumors, the more people believed there was something worth hiding. Social media platforms became battlegrounds between truth and censorship. Comments were locked, videos disappeared, keywords were shadow banned. Searching Yu Menglong death on Weibo returned error messages like content not available due to regulations. Overseas, exiled bloggers and independent Chinese YouTubers picked up the story. Their thumbnails screamed, "Exposed," and the secret behind Yu Menglong's death. Complete with ominous background music and sensational captions, views skyrocketed. Some channels earned thousands of dollars from monetized outrage. The tragedy of a man's death had become entertainment in itself. Meanwhile, Yu's family tried to regain control of the narrative. His mother released a statement through the agency. "Please, I beg the public to stop spreading lies. My son's death was a heartbreaking accident. We are in pain, and these stories make it worse." But by then, grief had evolved into collective obsession. For many fans, her statement wasn't proof. It was a script written under pressure. The blurred line between empathy and intrusion became painfully visible. Fans dug up Yu's old messages, speculating that his recent melancholy posts were coded cries for help. Others harassed colleagues and directors he'd once worked with, demanding they confess. Private WeChat chats, edited screenshots, and AI-generated confession letters flooded forums. In a chilling twist, Yu's last known movements, his drinks, his playlist, his outfit, were dissected as evidence, not memories. This wasn't the first time Chinese social media had turned tragedy into conspiracy, but Yu's death hit differently. His wholesome image, combined with the ongoing scrutiny of China's entertainment industry, created the perfect emotional storm. The public's distrust of official narratives collided with a collective desire to assign meaning to senseless loss. At the same time, Yu's story exposed how vulnerable online discourse is to manipulation. Some accounts that fueled the initial frenzy were later traced to content farms outside China, networks designed to exploit trending tragedies for clicks. Their algorithms fed on engagement, rewarding outrage, speculation, and fear. Every like, share, or repost made the rumor stronger, more believable. And yet, amid the chaos, there was truth buried somewhere. The very system designed to protect information credibility had instead fueled distrust. By erasing questions rather than answering them, authorities gave birth to hundreds of alternative truths. When people are left in the dark, imagination becomes the torch, and it burns everything in its path. But beneath the digital noise lies a quieter tragedy that deserves equal attention. The simple possibility that Yu's death was indeed an accident, a fatal mix of exhaustion, alcohol, and poor safety conditions. Witnesses mentioned he had been drinking with friends before the fall. If intoxication played a role, it highlights a broader issue rarely discussed in the entertainment world: the hidden culture of late-night drinking, pressure to perform socially, and the lack of mental health safeguards in celebrity circles. The reality is harsh. Alcohol-related deaths are common but invisible in showbiz, where image often outweighs well-being. From overwork to social drinking, entertainers face silent dangers dressed as glamour. For you, who had been juggling multiple projects, the night could have been just another release, a chance to unwind. But a few drinks, a misplaced step, and a life full of promise ended. It's easier to believe in foul play than in fragile humanity. Conspiracies comfort us because they suggest control. That someone, somewhere, wanted this to happen. Accidents, on the other hand, terrify us because they remind us how random and meaningless loss can be.